Hello, hello, hello. Yes, it is time for a, well, not time at this moment. We got 5 minutes till the countdown's done. But soon it'll be time for a match between these two teams, the Ox Cords and Top Down. right, it is about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Gauntlet Ascension. I'm your favorite underwater host, Sharky, and today we have quite the matchup ahead of us. We have the Ox Cords currently with a record of 7-6. They're currently ranked 5 out of the 10 teams we have this season, and in winning this match, they will tie themselves up with the Wavy Ones once again. But this match, their opponent is going to be Top Down. Currently Top Down with a record of 4-9. They still want contention to make the top 6 teams to automatically proceed to the playoffs at the end of the season. They have to start by winning this match and every single match after this. So definitely quite the challenge. Of course, Top Down wouldn't be out of contention for playing in the playoffs. There's still the play-in tournament that they'd have to go through. With that being said, here are your matchups for today. Coming up first, you're going to have Peak Eric versus Alex S. Noel versus Lapis. G's versus Somalian. And of course, our captain's match featuring the captain of the Ox Cords, Raw Mations, and the interim captain of Top Down, Doodle. That being said, looks like we do have both of our players. Peak Eric at least has been warming up for the past couple of minutes. Alex S is on a top out screen. So players are there. Of course, players, if you like same piece sets, be sure to confirm that in chat now. The original order that I had you going up against up until I was enlightened about commitments that you have in about 2.5 hours, which should have been enough time to be honest, but it is what it is. And unfortunately means that if this game does come down to a sudden death, it had to be played at a later date, which anyways, Alex has said yes to same piece sets. We just need a confirmation from Peak Eric, and I'll get you guys the seed. All right. There's your seed. 38 E8 AE. All right, it appears we have it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. Game number 1 of set number 1 between these two teams, Ox Cords versus Top Down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Ooh, I did not mean to move that. Why the heck is that layer not locked? Anyways, starting off this game, Alex S already in an uncomfortable situation, as well, players seem to have been holding out for that J piece, and the J piece kind of didn't want to come really quickly this time around. So now with elevated stacks, Peak Eric is going to be the first to knock down a Tetris. Alex S has a little bit work to get to his first Tetris. Peak Eric has a little bit of work to get to his second Tetris at that. But just like that, Alex S is clean with a weld to the right side and knocks down a Tetris. Peak Eric going to be set up for one here in the center. Knocks down a Tetris of his own. So leading in the early game by one Tetris is Peak Eric. First 20 lines, definitely a trying opener. Of course, we saw Alex S play in yesterday's match up against Chalala, and the set was pretty rough on certain piece sequences. And in the decider, Alex S, although having admittedly a great comeback towards the latter part of 18, was unable to facilitate a win. And what would have been a crucial win in order to help kind of guarantee that top down at least sees a sudden death. That being said, though, players off to a pretty solid start here in the first 40 lines. A couple of burns going to be forced, as it appears that we are running into a drought. Now Alex S is not going to try and go for anything really aggressive. And another back-to-back drought would actually be beneficial for Alex S, because it means that PK can't extend the lead any longer. Just like that, both players able to score Tetris utilizing the same long bar. Great choreo adjustment recognition over there on PK's part. So 201 to now 180. PK also trails behind in line slightly too. So we'll have the advantage in pace, and actually Alex S forced to use a couple of long bars to fill in that massive long bar dependency on the left-hand side. So another Tetris was gained in the lead over there for PK. Tetris is going to be scored for both players. Another Tetris scored for Alex S, and another one for PK. 271 and now 228, just under that halfway through level 18 threshold. Alex S actually going to be prevented from scoring a Tetris. That hole is annoyingly placed in column 4. So this is going to be a triple, and there's another hole that was placed in column 5. And another hole in column 1. So throughout all of that, a Tetris was just not possible for Alex S. 365 for PK, 272 for Alex. Almost down to the bottom. Could try and go for a column 4. Does get an L piece. Needs another piece to skim off. And just going to take the triple. And that's just going to be another Tetris in the lead that PK grows. 412 now to 287. Alex S not gonna try and go for any of the J burns, and that's gonna force a lot more. The unwillingness to compromise there costs Alex S at least 5 burn lines. Now 6. There it is. The Tetris gonna be scored over there for Alex. A small adjustment to maintain this elevated Tetris roll here on row 3. PK on the other hand, trying to down stack out of this. It's not a costly down stack, and it's still going to be able to maintain his lead. As Alex S getting some really jagged pieces, not what he's looking for. Needs to get access to that hole in column 4, or else this could get dangerous, and this could get dangerous real fast. We might not even be looking at a transition, as Alex S is in the process of topping out and does so at 325. PK is good for game number 1. All right, looks like we have a ready on the next seed over here for PK. It's at 49. And we got the ready from Alex S. Let's go ahead and get them counted down to game number 2. As PK leads game number 1. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. There you see LOT. That says lot. So who knows? Maybe we can see a lot of favorable pieces. Or that can go the other way and we can see a lot of droughts. Either way, there has been the expectation that there's going to be a lot of something. And already, Alex S knocks down a dirty Tetris, actually. Going to be banking on the long bar, making it over to that left-hand side. And decides to compromise early, not going to try and wait it out. But sometimes that's what you have to do. You can't always rely on that long bar to come, because guess what? We're running into a drought here. And Alex S waiting on that long bar would have been a potential fatal mistake. Now he's setting up for row 2. Peak Eric able to catch back up, kind of bringing us into almost a tie position, separated by half a single in favor of Alex S at the moment. But there you have it, 102 to now 103. Alexis trailing by 1 Tetris here in the early game. And it appears that we are not getting a lot of long bars, so yeah, a lot of droughts would have been appropriate. I mean, I already said the expectation was there. Alex S is going to hold on to a small lead here. Peak Air given the option to go for the left well. And it appears that's what he's going to attempt to do. There's a left well Tetris for Peak Eric. It's going to get an eyepiece, make it all the way over to the left-hand side. So back to the right-hand side. 183 for Peak Eric, 185 for Alex S. A couple of burns forced over there on Alex S's end. 2 quick Tetrises for Peak Eric. And a Tetris there for Alex S. Peak Eric's being a little bit more efficient with the long bar utilization this time around. As a matter of fact, might be able to convert this into a 1 Tetris lead should Alex S take a burn somewhere. Burn or 2. As Peak Eric had to take a burn just to get Tetris ready at that moment. 275 to now 257. Alex S is long bar dependent in column 3. Does get the long bar, so a split triple will be burned. And a nice T for the double there. Should be able to stay out of harm's way. But this is where Peak Eric is able to grow a small advantage. About 3.5 Tetrises in the lead now. As, ooh, pieces complicated over there for Alex S, but the J piece for the split double going to get the well open, and a Tetris will be scored. Of course, looking at this matchup, Peak Eric being a key component of the aux chords here in the regular season will not be playing in the playoffs, at least to my knowledge. But with a record of 4-1, has definitely been a contributor to those matches that the aux chords have won. Alex S also supposed to be, or anticipated to be, playing in the playoffs. Currently with a record of 1-2. There are a couple games that were missed, so that record isn't 100% representative of Alex's true stack or match prowess, I guess you could say. When it comes to advantages, Peak Eric is definitely at 1. Especially you can see that demonstrated in this game. 465 for Peak Eric, 378 for Alex S. Alex S banking on the long bar and needs one urgently. Finds alternative ways to burn down. And actually, the stack is going to be clean just in time for that eyepiece. It might be given a small opportunity to make the comeback. But that comeback's going to have to be scored on level 19 because we are about to transition. One more Tetris will take us to transition on Alex S's side. 2 Tetrises with perfect play will take us to transition on Peak Eric's side. Alex S is going to transition at 4:59. Peak Eric, set up for the Tetris, will transition at 5:22. Level 19 is where we're going. Speeds increased by 50%. The player is going to be forced to be a little bit more precise. They're going to have less room to work with. Peak Eric does roll. Alex S does not. Alex S does tap, so you can see some miraculous digs, possibly. Of course, ideally you'd like to avoid those kind of situations. I like the adjustment over there from Alex S. Very intriguing way to deal with that particular situation. Had the pieces fallen a little bit more in his favor, might have been able to burn out of this flawlessly. But hey, we got a drought coming in. It's coming in hot. Players only received 47 long bars this game. There's the 48th over there for Alex S. A much needed long bar. Gonna allow him to get back into scoring position as Peak Eric has expanded his lead to over 100,000 points. 665 to now 537. There's the touches for Alex S. And another one will be scored. 594 now. Peak Eric, a little bit of a complicated scenario, so this is an opportunity for Alex S. He has a clean board. He does score Tetris, so closing the gap. Peak Eric almost out of this particular situation. That IP is going to bring the stack down by a triple. Now, Peak Eric is actually set up for row 2. As Alex S is only down by a Tetris at this point. Our long bars are being failed to be utilized over here on Peak Eric's end. Alex S is almost tied up the game. 685 to now 686. Peak Eric does find a Tetris and set up for the next one. But yeah, guess what? We're running into another drought here. Alex S refusing to go for the spin there. So that long bar can't be utilized for a Tetris. The well does get reopened. Peak Eric uses that long bar that Alex S had to pass up for a Tetris. So 758 to now 733. Under a Tetris separating them as we are heading into level 26. One player's going to knock down a Tetris. 766 now. A little bit of burst of long bars over there. That's going to be useful for scoring. As Alex S and both Peak Eric score Tetrises. 824 to now 801. Still just under a 1 Tetris lead for Peak Eric. Both players knocked down a Tetris, so lead doesn't change. And Peak Eric has been scoring off of row 2 the entirety of, I want to say, the post 25. Another Tetris for Peak Eric, 928. Tetris for Alex S, 903. Max out is not possible without 29 play for Alex S. But Peak Eric is a Tetris and change away from a max on his end. Alex S holding up at the long bar, trying to go perfect. Able to get the long bar over for 1 Tetris. There's AO2 now for Peak Eric. And Alex S able to actually knock down Tetris and takes the lead. 813. It is now officially a 29 battle. Alex S in the lead at A19. Peak Eric trying to bring the stack down. Alex S getting some lines. Left side, or the right side, can't get the tap over. A22, but hold on. Peak Eric needs A23. The hang to the right-hand side, and Alex S takes the match. Or not the match, but that game. The clutch Tetris into level 29 gave enough separation in the play out into level 30. What an insane game. Definitely misspoke there saying the match being taken because the match is far from over. We are tied up 1-1. And that is officially Alex S's highest game this season, too. But let's go ahead and get them counted down to game number 3. What a clutch moment that was for Alex S. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, Tetris. Definitely not something that you were expecting. But as I said, and I believe that was game 1, Peak Eric might have the advantage in rolling, but Alex S is a tapper and a decently fast one at that. And just being able to get those extra lines on the 29 speeds going into level 30. And Peak Eric running into a situation truly made all the difference. But already, a couple of tricky pieces over here for Peak Eric. Alex S with a massive J-piece dependency. That's going to allow him to get Tetris ready. Does get it filled. Now, left side can be dealt with how he sees fit. However, had to forego using that long bar for a Tetris. Peak Eric knocks down one. And another gets scored. A little bit of awkward pieces over here for Peak. So, gonna be forced to take some burns. Oh, goes for the horizontal S-tuck. Thought potentially was gonna go for the vertical S-tuck and tuck the O-piece underneath. But either way, Alex S thriving off the momentum of the previous game. Fantastic 40-line opener. 232 for Alex S at 45 lines. 148 for Peak Eric at 39 is going to add a Tetris, go up to 171. And once again, Peak Eric going to run into a slowdown here. Able to get an eyepiece over to the left. At the beginning of the stream, I said that top down, in order for them to avoid the play-in tournament and guarantee themselves a spot in the playoffs, which depending on how much the Matcherino raises this year, it is possible we can see that all top 8 teams receive a payout of some sorts. But in order for top down to automatically have the right to just make it into that top 8, it starts with this match and subsequently the next couple of matches ahead of them, which, to be frank, is not going to be easy. But if they're able to win this match, there will still be hope. The matches that top down have left this season consist of powerhouses such as the Sparks and Minos, with how much they've improved over the last half of the season. It's another team that the top down will have to play. Top down will also have to play through the Drywellers and the Grandmasters. So all in all, to win all 5 of their remaining matches, the matchup against Eternal is one that can be winnable. But to have to win all 5 of them in order to not even be a guaranteed spot, it depends on the other teams at that point. And if Alex S can start to pave that way, give top down the advantage that they need to maybe at least even force a sudden death of sorts. And speaking about sudden death, this was almost a sudden top out. No, it is a sudden top out for Peak Eric at 380. Alex S at 518 is good. All right, got it ready from both players. Just get them counted down. Alex S is on match point. Can PK bring us to a decider? Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Definitely felt like a awkward game from PK. A lot of things just not going right. We've seen Alex S in a similar situation to this in the prior match that happened yesterday. Inshallah was able to win 2 games down this very same position. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, that's Peak Eric's first early top out of the season. Or maybe second one. Because when it comes to true transitions, Peak Eric has a true transition rate of 94% out of all the games that has been played. Conversely to Alex S, whose true transition rate sits at 60%. And Alex S was on a hot game too. Looking near a high 500k transition, maybe even a 600k transition was possible. So definitely an anomaly that last game was when it comes to Peak Eric's performance. However, the match is not over until it's over. 176 for Peak Eric enduring this drought. Out of Tetris, Peak Eric's going to go up to 201. Alex S, following that Tetris, is now at 263. A couple of awkward pieces. So Peak Eric's going to have to do some burning. Alex S going to be able to utilize this opportunity. And ever since having just such a momentum shift of that win, being only a couple thousand points away from Peak Eric, Alex S has been on an absolute tear here on level 18. $303 now for Peak Eric, $360 for Alex S. Players are at identical line counts. Tetris will be scored there. But yeah, 40 lines remain. Excuse me. 40 lines remain until the level 19 transition. Alex S, past couple of lines has been actually quite efficient. 453 is his current score. Peak Eric sitting at 397. Couple quick Tetrises. 420 now for Peak Eric. Gonna go up to 443. Alex S at 500,000. So once again, almost the exact same pace as last game. We're looking at a 600k transition. Peak Eric gonna decide to go ahead and commit a forced compromise there in the center. So, and Green and long bar dependency mean the past couple of long bars just haven't been used by PKeric for Tetrises. Does find some utilization off of that one, though. Trailing by 2.5 Tetrises now. Level 19 transition looms. 2 Tetrises possible by Alex S with perfect play, but if a Tetris is scored, at least a 600k transition is guaranteed. But that is if a Tetris is scored. Looks like we're running into a drought right before level 19. PKeric holds out long enough. Alex S with a concerning eyepiece dependency on the left-hand side. The Hail Mary over there from Alex S. Through the board in a disarray in the hopes that a long bar comes. And it did. But the hang on the left-hand side, Alex S tops at a 631. PKeric has a chase down of 632. A Hail Mary might have been thrown, but the distance wasn't far. And neither is the distance for PKeric to chase this down. One more Tetris will be enough, and we're looking at a decider. If I'm not mistaken, it's 632. $636. I believe that should be good. We should be looking at a decider. Yep. PKeric, you are good to go. Decider has been forced. Yet again. Here for Alex S. All right, looks like we have it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. We go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. JZJ. Those are the pieces we start off with. We are tied 1-1. Or not 1-1, 2-2. It is a decider. No more games to be given from either player. And already, PKeric having to struggle a little bit with getting his first Tetris on the board. Alex S has already gathered 2. O-Piece makes it over to the left. Oh my gosh, that's the top out for PKeric at 7,000 points. Alex S takes the game and top down leads the match. What a tragic end to things. Coming up next is going to be our next match between Noel and Lapis. Lapis in his second ever match of the season. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Lapis is warming up. Noel's stream is not live yet. So we'll keep on giving the refresh. But yeah, all the jerseys I designed. Basically, literally almost everything you see for Gauntlet, I think the exception is like a couple of abstract parts, but everything I designed myself. Alright. We got the proper stream, so we're gonna boot it up shortly. There we go. Would y'all like same pieces, players? Alright, Noel's fine with whatever Lapis wants. So, Lapis, are you cool with same piece sets or not? Well, here's your seed. When both players are ready, we can get this underway. We got the ready from Noel. Woohoo. Yeah, Lapis definitely looking to improve some of these stats. All right. We got it ready from both players. The Ox Chords down 0-1 in a shocker decider win from Alex S. Let's see if Noel can redeem them. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And already very different approaches in the opener. Noel's a lot cleaner than Lapis's. Lapis is going to have to take a couple of burn. This is Lapis' second match of Gauntlet. First match was up against Grand Designs when Top Down played the Millionaires. And unfortunately, Lapis was unable to reach a transition once. Just with the exception of Grand Designs having an early top out himself. So, looking definitely to change that narrative around. And of course, bring up that true transition rate up from a 25%. Noel, on the other hand, definitely a consistent player for the Aux Chords, especially in the first half of the season. And who could forget the PB that he was able to achieve in Gauntlet itself? Be his first match back from a while, if I'm not mistaken. I believe the last match was whenever the Aux Chords played up against the Wavy Ones. Towards the start of the second half of the season, in which he played Morlando in Morlando's debut. So since then, we haven't heard too much from him. He's definitely to make his name known, as he is one of the players that will be playing in the playoffs. Same as Lapis. So both of these players are part of the active playoff roster. $193 for Noel, $117 for Lapis. Lapis on the verge of topping out. And there's another early top out from Lapis at 130. Noel is good for game number 1. The lowest transition rate. Let's see, true or raw? If we're talking about true, 0. Or not 0. If we're talking about raw, that's 0. If we're talking about true, outside of true, lowest transition rate true is also 0. Kasagiri has 0 on both. Lapis has 0 and 1 and 25% in true. That being said, both players are ready for game number 2. Let's go ahead and cut them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So far, Lapis right now off to a much better start this time around. Noel at 91,000. 149 for Lapis. Noel looking for an S piece. Noel in danger here, having to do some burning. Still Tetris ready. $223 to $223. Throughout all that, end up with a near tie position. So no Tetris going to be scored over there for Noel. $278 to now $300. Lapis with another misdrop. Trying to survive here. $378. A nice survival over there from Lapis at $305. And have another delayed burn setup, I hope that was. Not a misdrop. We are closing in on the level 19 transition. $471 for Noel, $339 for Lapis. Lapis able to survive that situation, however, at the cost of being down by 100,000 points and more going into the level 19 transition. There it is. Lapis transitions at 386, and not with the best of boards either, but throws eyepieces all the way over to the left. Forced to take a couple of burns. Would love a Z or a T piece. Didn't get it. Forced to compromise. Now a long bar dependency over there on column 2. There is. Touch is going to be scored. Noel transitions over 500k. We're looking to close things out here. Bring him to a 2-0 lead here in the match. Lapis focusing on survival. Definitely not a position to score at the moment. Was unable to find the most efficient way to downstack out of his situation and is still struggling to survive. Misses the J piece dependency and creates 2. Now a long bar is needed here in the center. Column 4. The misdrop! I think that might be fatal unless Lapis can work some rolling magic. It's not going to be any avail. Lapis tops out at 431. Noel is good for game number 2. Let's see. respond to a message about it. 1 second. I'm going to go ahead and get these two players counted down, though. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Lapis already in danger. Long bar comes, so gonna survive. It's gonna be a triple, not a Tetris. It's gonna be a double. If another long bar comes, I'll be a triple as well. There's a triple. And that's also another triple. Lapis is playing triple, not Tetris at the moment. Was able to bring the stack down and survive. Another dirty touches over there for Lapis at 99,000. Noel at 137. But as it stands, Lapis also in trouble yet again. Not sure what he's going to be able to do to downstack out of this. Double J dependencies. Fills in the one in the center first. That's it. Lapis is going to top it at 122. Noel ties up the match 1-1. Up next will be our match between G's and Somalian. And I just got told that Rameshan's had to leave due to an emergency. So it is possible that there might have to be a rescheduling of the captain's match. We're at least getting the third match being played. So bear with us as we get that match set up shortly. Wait, hold on. I think I might have figured out what the issue was. Okay, I think I fixed the formula. Sorry about that. Everything should be accurate now. I think we're still good to have the captain's match, though. Just got an update, so should be good. There's Somalian. Alright. Players. Same piece sets or not. It's starting to rain pretty hard, too. Alright, Somalian has requested SPS. Alright. So... was that a yes for SPSGs, or... no SPS? Okay. We'll see. Well, players are ready. Let's get them counted down. Here we go. Game number 1 in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Start things up. G's already up towards the top of the board. So there's level 18 speed, so it's a bit more survivable than the higher speeds. G's gonna open up the well and knock down his first Tetris. Somalian has already got one on the board. He's able to find one there too. So a little bit of turbulent openers for both players. 70k to 63k. Like that 93k to 86. Somalian gonna hold on to a 1 Tetris lead here. And since this is different piece sets, you're expected to see some level of turbulence. There is no assurance with how long or short you or your opponent's droughts may be. And during the regular season, it is in fact an option. But come playoffs, all players that have the ability to will have to play on SPS. But already, this match looks like one that could definitely go to sudden death. Alex S really did top down a major service, being able to win that match. And it all started with the momentum gain from that insane game number 2 to tie up the match. Here in game number 1, 324 to now 314. Somalian slightly behind, actually. Not only in real time, but also in pace. Jesus has been able to utilize his pieces a bit more efficiently than Somalians. And that's from the perspective of when you look at the long bar count, Somalian has received a bit more, and Somalian actually for a left well. It's another eyepiece that couldn't be used. So just really a struggle of being able to score consistently or be in a position to score consistently for Somalian. G's also running into a slowdown himself. Excuse me. $385 for G's, $417 for Somalian. About to head into the level 19 transition. Somalian at 465. G's at 422. Here's a transition for Somalian. 490. At the end of the day, will be transitioning higher than G's. But also burning early in the level 19. G's will transition at 446. Knocks down a Tetris. Goes up to 470. Set up for another one. Is going to be forced to take a couple of burns. Somalian still in the process of burning this down. Nice placement over here from G's, but the drought hit both of them on level 19. Somalian now 529, G's 502. Tetris for G's goes up to 527, so in terms of pace, we're about neck and neck. Somalian rocking a left well here. There's another Tetris for G's, goes up to 553. $582 over here for G's, $587 for Somalian. G's going to run into a small slowdown. Can go for row 2. A little bit more on the aggressive side of things, especially with the increased speed. But might be the option to keep it with Somalian, as Somalian has been able to score Tetrises pretty regularly following getting out of that dig on level 19. This is Tetris for G's, 616 and now 619. G's Tetris ready for a column 2. Holding out for the long bar patiently. Long bar nowhere to be found. So G's just being forced to do all this burning and continuing to put weight on that hole on column 1. Somalian has almost built up 100,000 point lead. J piece would have been perfect there, but now G's looking for an eyepiece. 644 to now 733. G's can't get an eyepiece when this well is open, and now it's recovered. And at this point, G's gonna want to hope for a top out from Somalian. Tetris hasn't been scored in the past 3 levels. And there it is, finally a Tetris scored over there for G's. 692 to now 745. Tetris for Somalian goes up to 781. G's rocking with the left well. Knocks down one left well. Somalian knocks down a right well. 819 and now 730. G's eyepiece dependent. Does get one eyepiece, now needs another for the left well. There might be a chance here. Somalian encountering some issues. G's needs these Tetrises here. There's one. Can he squeeze out a second? Oh, that's transition. No more burns for G's. Somalian at 868 is going to be good for game number 1. We have ready from both players, so let's get them counted down to game number 2. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Already start off G is a bit uncomfortable. Not gonna be able to score Tetris off the first long bar, or rather the second long bar that he receives. What? It's set up here on row 2. Able to just barely get that Z piece over to the left. There it is. G is on the board with the Tetris. And that T piece not quite able to rotate in this correct orientation. G's just going to be forced to do a lot of burning here early on. $211 over here for Sodium, or not Sodium, Somalian. Whoa, where does Sodium come from? 101 from G's. Whole different team. So Somalian with double G's points at the moment. Now more than double G's. Really struggling to get anything to score. And this is the moments where not doing same pieces backfires. G's is going to top out at 125. Somalia is good for game number 2. Both players are ready. Let's get game number 3 counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Much better opener for both players, actually, here. Well, yeah. Looked like Jeeves was potentially running into a developing drought. But all things going to be fine. Somalian flawless at the moment. Adjustment over there from G's. Had a jagged stack to deal with. And there's the flawless 20 from Somalian. Going to be able to go for a flawless 24, but following that is going to have to take burns. Very tricky pieces to deal with. I'm gonna probably go for the J spin. Very nice. Definitely love the solution Somalian found there. Jeez, was able to get a couple Tetrises on the board just past his 100k. 112,000 to be exact here at 34 lines. Somalian at 169. Make that 171 at 38 lines. Little bit of trickiness over here for Somalian. Finding some great burns, though. Burns that help him keep alive. T-piece wasn't the greatest piece to receive there. So there is an opportunity for G's. The long bar comes. Definitely utilize this moment that Somalian spent burning to catch back up to a score. So Tetris is going to be scored there. Gonna set up for a second one. Somalian. Great down stacking effort. But the lead that he had is long gone. G's behind by 10 lines. So about 2 Tetris worth in lines. Maybe you can count a third one there. Definitely holding on to the advantage early on. And you kind of have to. In G's case, it's do or die. Speaking about die, the stream died. So maybe it reconnects, hopefully. Oh, we're getting an ad. Lovely. Keep playing, Somalian. 288. And 353 for G's at 89 lines, so still holding on to the lead. It is time for Twitch Turbo. $387 now for G's. Somalian with that dirty Tetris goes up to 376. And with that, the well is going to be clean. And now G's is the one having to operate with a dirty board. Somalian will give us the first transition out of the two at 445. Jeez. Looking like he was at one point able to match that. Not anymore. Pieces definitely not allowing for that at the moment. Nice little split double. G's is going to give us a transition. A 410 is going to knock down the Tetris. There's another Tetris for G's. Goes up to 464. Down by 2 Tetrises, and coincidentally, that's also the rough amount of which the lines is being separated by. Or these pieces not the best for G's. Long bar dependency now created. I'm just going to take the triple. There's the Tetris for Somalian. But now it's going to have to do some burning, so an opportunity does show itself for G's. There's a Tetris. And there's another. 528 to now 547. No attention is going to be scored. It goes up to 555. Now 578 for Somalian. Somalian still going to be leading by 30,000 points, but is more than a level ahead. Is experiencing some minor complications too. G's, Tetris ready, just waiting patiently for this long bar. There it is, Tetris for G's, goes up to 619. Somalian at 647. G's held the lead there temporarily. Somalian able to knock down a couple of Tetrises on level 25 is going to re-separate them. There it is, Tetris for G's. Another Tetris for G's goes up to 687. It's actually caught up in lines to Somalian. Both players were on the same level there for a moment, as G's is furiously burning. Not what you want to do, as Somalian is now off to a hot streak. 8-11 now for Somalian. G's looking for the right pieces. I'm really struggling to find them. Looking for an L or a J. There is Tetris for G. Somalian on the verge of topping out. Somalian tops out at 812. G's, you need 813. This is not an easy chase down. 2 Tetrises at least is what's needed. Oh, G's is going to go for the column 2. Yeah, he's committed to it. Nice. Gets the T-piece over to the left. One more Tetris will be good enough. Oh, decided not to go for the T-burn. That would have been enough to set him up for the Tetris. Can't take a triple. There's the double. No more life to burn. G's doesn't get the chase down. 1 Tetris shy. Somalian is good for game number 3. Top down, lead the match 2-1. So Raw is in the process of getting home. So hopefully we'll be back in around 10-ish minutes. But in the meantime, I'm gonna head to our intermission. Top down, doing what they need to do to try and keep their season alive. However, a sudden death can be forced. So we'll see where we go from there. If the sudden death does get forced, we'd have to play it at a later date, it would seem. Unless it's swift. If it's really quick, and I think, like, if Raw Missions is able to sweep Doodle and we go to sudden death, then we'd be able to play it today. Well, Somalian can't play. Even if it's not Swift, that means if Jeeves is able to play, and then yeah, so it'd still be a pretty fair sudden death. Considering that Pika and Somalian both have somewhere to be at what the perceived time for sudden death would happen. So yeah, it'd still be even. So we could still do it today. If it happens. That's depending on Ramations, and that's who we are waiting on to get home, because had an emergency that he had to deal with. Or an obligation that he had to deal with prior to this. We'll see, we'll see. You gotta be careful when you say those kind of things, Alex S. The esports world has a very funny way of humbling people with bold predictions. I'm gonna run a quick ad while I get the match set up preemptively. Alright, players, make sure you have super kill screen at 39 enabled for your line cap. And the seed is pinned in chat. When we have readies on the screen, then we can get y'all counted down. Wait, that's 29 star doodle? 308? Dog, why is it gonna rain all the way until 1 a.m.? The seed should... Oh, that's right, mobile. Noel, you have no idea. You have no freaking idea, dude. Anyways, both of our captains are ready. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get them counted down to our captain's match. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So again, Doodle playing in another match. Last match had to play up against Sidnev. And a couple of close calls. And arguably had the best performance that any captain for top down has seen. at least over the 3 games that was played. Now Doodle faces another challenge. If he can stop Raw Mations here and defeat the Ox Chords, there is still, mathematically speaking, a chance for Top Down to make it into top 6 for the playoffs. However, that requires them going perfect for the rest of the season. But to start things off, both players off to pretty good starts. Doodle had to take a couple of burns early on. Ramations, on the other hand, 1 line shy of being perfect. Now 2 lines. Either way, very comfortable stacks here. $184 to now $150. And wow, both of these players playing this really strong. Looks like Doodle was unable to get that S piece all the way over to the left, but at the same time, it didn't seem like a misdrop. Nice little sacrifice over there for Ramations to ensure that the Tetris got scored, bring the stack down into a more healthy state. But Doodle, clean as a whistle, was able to find a little bit more success throughout that piece sequence that happened throughout the, I want to say the 30 through the 40 line mark. So was able to close the gap. Because, like we said, Ramations was playing nigh on perfect. $284 for Ramations, $256 for Doodle, trailing by 1 Tetris. Ramations operating with a row 2. This kind of stemmed from that situation that happened around the 40 line mark, where Ramations was forced to sacrifice the stack a little bit to ensure that the Tetris got scored. And these droughts are being beautifully managed by these players. $350 now for Doodle, $401 for Ramations. And you can argue that Doodle has had a higher long bar utilization rate than Ramations in this game. However, Doodle has been forced to take a lot of burns. And so despite having a higher long bar utilization rate, there's also the fact that the amount of burns that Doodle has been forced to take has allowed Ramations to build up that Tetris and a half lead. There it is, 493 to now 441. And oh, Doodle deciding not to slide that S piece underneath there. Instead, goes for a different delay burn setup. A little bit more burn costly, but the stack health afterwards is definitely preferable. Nice little T-spin over there for Ramations. We will be transitioning soon. Level 19. We'll see what both of these players were capable then, or at least in previous matches. I'll have to see what they're able to bring to the table this time around. Rawmation's a 654 right out the gate. Doodle, 1 Tetris remains. And Doodle will bring a 585. 70,000 points separating them at transition. Approximately 3 Tetrises. So definitely contested, and all it takes is 1 bag level for the tides of this battle to either turn or become greater. 609 now for Doodle as he gets set up for a Tetris. Rawmation's at 727. At a cool pace here, making some noise on level 20. He's able to find a Tetris, goes up to 752. Doodle stack is getting closer to the top. And unfortunately, the long bar wasn't able to use it, or wasn't able to use the long bar to bring it down. Forced to use a triple instead. Another safety double Tetris for Doodle. 674 to now 784. 100,000 point lead is around the true pace differential. But Doodle's Tetris ready. Rawmations knocks into Tetris, goes up to 670, or not Rawmations. Rawmations goes up to 814. Doodle forced to take a triple into a Tetris. 708 to now 841. If anything, Rawmations has doubled the lead going into transition. Or not going into transition, going into this level 24 mark. If you remember, Rawmations had a 70,000 point lead and has now expanded that to 140,000 almost. Beautiful J-spin hit over there for Rawmations. The Tetris for Doodle. There it is, 933 for Rawmations at level 24. Hot game for him right now. A Tetris and change will be the max out, but Doodle not having a too shabby game himself. 827 going into 24. It's going to knock down a Tetris, go up to 858. We're looking at a 26 max, I believe, over here for Doodle. And for Rawmations, we are looking at a max in 25. Ooh, Doodle forced to do a couple more burns here. 827 over here for Rawmations. Tetris for Doodle goes up to B, or not B, 896. Man, I'm misspeaking a lot today. 862 for Rawmations was a couple Minos shy from being Tetris ready. Doodle in the process of burning down. That TP is going to help. Tetris is going to be scored. Rawmations another Tetris, 897. Do it at 934. Looking like a max going into 27, or not going into, but a max in 27. As one more will give him that max out. Both players now waiting for the next long bar. There's the long bar for Rawmations. 970 now for Doodle. Holding out patiently. Long bar couldn't be used. Another dependency is built up. Doodle doing everything that he can to try and survive. Goes for some genius flat burns. Well is open. Tetris is scored. A16 and now C70. Rawmations in this game. Oh, not going to go aggressive. We almost had the 1.3, but a C80 is incredibly close to 1. Doodle going to have to fight through an unfriendly board state here on 29. And the hangs to the left hand, or to the right hand side is going to do it. A63 is Doodle's top out. Rawmations takes game number 1. D55 is the top out score. So next should be D0. All right. You got it ready from both players. Let's get them counted down to game number 2. Formations lead, but Doodle, see if he can bounce back. We're going 3, 2, 1 Tetris. And it appears that Formations opening up with, I guess you can say that it's a misdraw, but at the same time, it's so early in the game that you could argue that it was calculated. Maybe Formations wanted to go for the left well. It's the very first piece of the game. I think the only other exception is going like Z flat on columns 1 through 3 that you could genuinely say that it was a misdrop. You see little thumbs down over there from Formations. So a couple of burns going to be forced over here on his part. Either way, a little bit of a tie game. Both players being forced to be disciplined. Ooh, can we see a T piece for the T spin tuck? Oh, S spin tuck is going to be missed over there for Formations. However, this drought could get the better of Doodle. Doodle already having to open up the game with a scary dig. O piece makes it all the way over to the left. Nice double. That hole is open. The well is open back up to the right, but the drought continues. Doodle reopens up the well. Hopefully a long bar comes soon, and there it is. Look at that survival from Doodle. A quick second Tetris is going to bring the stack down to a much more comfortable height. And Formations is also going to follow up a couple Tetrises of his own. 111 and now 104. Add a Tetris to Doodle's score. Goes up to 126. Both players at the same line count. Doodle with a lead by half a Tetris. Doodle said that if you're watching, wake up because things exciting is going on. Might be 18. Some people might consider it a snooze fest. But you never know when a situation like that can be encountered, and just really shows you what all can be done when you persevere. And that perseverance didn't come with too much of a pace drop either, as Doodle was able to maintain the lead up until this point, being forced to do some burns here. Would love an L piece. L piece comes a tad bit too late. S piece would be warranted here though. Nice alternative solution using the T and the Z piece, swapping the dependencies. However, this does allow Formations to take a lead. Wow, double O there. Look at all those tugs. Next thing you know, he's about to set up a Vitz. Dude's not a member of the wavy one. 228 to 228. A little bit of separation in line, so Formations is going to take the lead there. Formations looking for a J or an S piece. Either of those pieces can be used to burn it out. Neither hit the stack. So this is actually a great opportunity for Doodle. Formations is going to be forced to do a tad bit of burning. It might decide to go for row 2 for a good duration of this. Love an L or a J. L or J nowhere to be found. When he finally gets it, didn't have the same use for it as he required earlier. And that's going to allow Doodle to take the advantage. Interesting back and forth battle that we have here on level 18. Formation's starting to get up a bit high. S-Piece is definitely not doing him any favors, as Doodle has almost expanded the lead to 100,000 points in such a short span of time. Formation's not going aggressive. Is waiting patiently for this long bar, though, deciding just to take the triple. Not willing to test RNG. Definitely not on Gauntlet. And there it is. Dirty Tetris over there for Formations. 333 to now 382. Doodle actually has been able to score as much as you would expect throughout that entire throughout the entire situation where Formations was up high. But remember, these players are playing on the same piece sets, so the same drought that Formations had to endure, Doodle had to endure also. So no real opportunities for Doodle to increase the lead off of that merit alone. However, that is going to be a column 3 Tetris for Doodle, and he's going to be set up for another. There's the Tetris for Railmations. We are closing in on level 19 transition. Doodle would love to get that eyepiece a lot sooner than later, and there it is. Tetris for Doodle. Drawing up something fierce here. Nice little lead to help establish some degree of comfort going into the post-transition. One Tetris available for both players. Railmations can't find it. Doodle, however, is set up for it. And there it is. Doodle's going to bring us into transition. A 483, near a 100,000 point lead on Railmations, and Doodle has a clean board to boot. There's another Tetris for Doodle. Goes up to 508. Railmations trying to downstack this. And those pieces are going to be absolutely perfect. Railmations back in the building position. Another Tetris for Doodle going into 20. 533 now, 130,000 point lead. With your Doodle, this is exactly what you want. In order to bounce back from game number 1, Railmations was able to have some insane pace. And Shadia chose to go aggressive towards the latter part of 28. We could have seen a 1.3 going into 29. But that's not what was needed to win in that case. Nice set of burns over here. Railmations is going to be forced to take some more, at least 4 more burns before another Tetris can be scored. .462 over here for Railmations. Going to knock down another Tetris. No, he does not. Does get the second long bar over. I looked away for a second because I thought for sure he had it in the bag. Oh my gosh. This is incredibly difficult. There was the long bar. Railmations is going to survive. Long bar came at the best possible time after failing to utilize the prior one for a Tetris. However, this down stack can get scary. Nice flat burns. Railmations just bringing the stack down. 688 for Doodle. LNJ dependent is Railmations. L piece dependency gets filled first and the J piece after. Railmations was looking for that Z piece, was unable to get it. Now looking for a long bar. Long bar is going to burn a split double. And Doodle has almost built up a 200,000 point lead and is behind in lines slightly. Like I said, if this was a game you want to bounce back, to shift the momentum in your favor, this is that game. Railmations just trying to stay alive. That burns the line. A small little line clear delay. Give him a little bit of time to think about his next move. And after all those levels of not being able to be in an ideal scoring position, Railmations has burned this stack down, basically down to the bottom, set up for a Tetris in column 8, and knocks it down. 614 for Railmations, 820 for Doodle. Make that 854, adding a Tetris. Truly phenomenal down stack over there for Railmations. Not willing to give up, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do. Down by 200,000 points. 1 level to go before 29. Faster speeds are incoming. A Tetris was scored by both. 904 for Doodle. 686 for Railmations. Good set of burns, but okay, there it is. Railmations goes into level 29 with a 723. The triple is going to bring him up to 733. Doodle, 1 Tetris remains. Railmations set up for the Tetris, knocks it down. Doodle transitions into level 29 with a 985. Railmations another Tetris, 809, and he gets set up for a third. There's another Tetris for Railmations, 846. He started to put some pressure on Doodle early on. Said that lead that you have is not safe, but neither is Railmations' current stack. He's able to down stack out of this, but he needs good pieces. Goes for the flat eye burn. More weight is put on that column 2. A more tedious hole to dig out of. But Railmations is up for the challenge. There it is. Long bar finds his way in that column 2. The down stack is surreal. Doodle setting up for a dirty Tetris. Knocks it down. A77 for Doodle. Back up to a 200,000 point lead. Railmations setting up for a dirty Tetris. Opens up the well. Putting up at the long bar. Long bar nowhere to be found in S-Burst, but the S-Burst is not going to deal the final blow. Can Railmations dig out of this 921? No, he is not able to. And that 921 top out is going to be good enough for Doodle to take game number 2. Ferocious battle it was. Railmations taking it to level 33 in of itself is truly impressive, but Doodle took the advantage and ran away with it. Absolutely wild. What a game. But truly, a Suffer 19, Ralmation's just able to survive. Absolutely spectacular on his part. That being said, the next seed should be E1. $250th. What? Seems kind of low. Oh, there's a lot of B scores in there. Okay. I was about to say. I was like, could have sworn you had a lot more max plus scores than just. All right. Anyways, both players are ready. We are tied, one apiece. But let's see who's going to be the one to break that tie. Let's get them counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. And in fact, we do get the same piece starts. Oh! The overhang over there for Doodle for the spin tuck. What a creative find there. Ralmation's able to score the first Tetris of the game. The left side does need a little bit of doctoring, but those pieces are going to be the medicine that was required. And Ralmation's going to start off with a flawless opener. Doodle had to take 2 burn lines. And I remember Cole did say something in the Gauntlet Discord. Said that Doodle has a legit argument for being a true captain for top down. And if these past few matches that Doodle has played in the captain role, it doesn't prove that, then I don't know what will. Of course, this match is not over. Both players have one game apiece. Tetris is going to be scored from both. Ralmation's at 159. Oh, the aggressive J placements. Tetris is going to be scored. However, some safety burns are going to be required. J-Piece had to go and fill in the dependency on the left-hand side. Ralmation's not going to go for the triple. Instead, finds the Tetris. 40 lines in, 209. Definitely an ideal 40-line opener. That's a 650k transition pace. Doodle, on the other hand, having to deal with that same drought that Ralmation's encountered. And able to get the long bar over. The board is still up little high, but Doodle's just going to take the safety burns, not one to play with fire, and that's something that you can tell clearly with Doodle's play, not just in this match, but in the previous match with Sidnev. For the most part, Doodle is a very cautious player. At least in Gauntlet. I can attest to that. $350 to now $264. Ralmation's just able to have a powerful opener, but we do got to keep in mind Ralmation's is ahead by 3 Tetris worth in lines. Tetris is going to be scored for Doodle. Would love. Oh, never mind. Those are the exact pieces that he wanted, minus that S piece. It's a little bit cheeky. Going to force 2 extra burns. Ralmation's able to build up a 100,000 point lead. Ralmation's just willing to play that much more aggressive. You know, we've been talking about Doodle a bunch as he's kind of like the new captain on the scene. But Ralmation's last season found himself in a similar position when the Aux Corps' captain was Opox. And Opox had things going on, so Ramations had to step up to that role. You look at him now, captain of the Aux Corps. The Aux Corps currently in 5th place, right underneath the Wavy Ones. And if they win this match through Ramations forcing a sudden death and winning that sudden death, they will be tied at 4th. Just being behind the Stochastic squad. There it is, 557 to now 431. Another touch is going to be scored for both players. 600,000 at 116 lines. 4 Tetrises are left for Ramations. Dude damn near got a 700k transition to bounce back from the previous game. Well, I say that. Of course, he's looking for the 3 Tetrises here. Oh, the overhang. He's going to score the Tetris. There it is, 648. 2 Tetrises remain, but he has to play perfect in order to get it both of them. Doodle already at 525. 3 Tetrises remain for him as well. Or not as well, but 3 Tetrises remain for him. Ramations wants this high 600. Goes for the tuck. He has to burn. 600, or the high 600. Not going to be available to him anymore. There's this mid 600, 653 transition. Nasty draw right before. Was able to kind of get his board into an ideal state. However, Doodle, same can't necessarily be said. The well is open. Would love that long bar. No burns, no clean burns are available to him. Long bar comes. Doodle has a massive down stack effort ahead of him. But he's up for the challenge. Needs the long bar. Needs it to get over to the right. Something to burn. Long bar doesn't come in time. So now Doodle had a long bar dependency. Was able to fill it in. Nice 5 tap. Getting that piece all the way over to the left. Goes for the S5 delay. Burn. Genius over there. The split double over there from Doodle. What a down stacking maneuver. And the 5 tap on the eyepiece to the left-hand side. Doodle opens up the well. Give him the long bar. Reward him from his efforts. There's the Tetris for Doodle. What a down stack that was. However, Ramations took all that time that Doodle was spent getting the board under control and has built up a 230,000 point lead. What a play over there from Doodle. He is your captain for top down, and he's vying for a chance for top down to stay in contention for top 6 here in game number 3. 879 for Ramations on level 23. Doodle at 619 on level 22. The board is under control. That turbulence, that storm that we witnessed going into level 19, we only see remnants of it, not even, as it has been washed away. However, he has quite the uphill battle for himself, as Ramations is replicating what we saw in game 1. There's the 25 max again. But it's not over till it's over. There's another Tetris for Doodle. 738 to now 801. There is 730, or not 730, 800,000 flat. Well, isn't that an oddity? Another Tetris for Ramations. A99. Another Tetris is going to be scored. B33. Doodle at B, or not B, 864. Forced to do some uncomfortable burns, but those pieces work out perfectly. 899. We're still looking at a possible 1.1 going into 29. And that just really speaks volumes to Doodle's fantastic post-transition play following that scary situation that we transitioned with. CO8 for Ramations, and 1.3 is not possible by 29, but that's going to be quite the boost going into level 29. C43, there's the Tetris for Ramations. C79 is what we get. Doodle, now the threat of even making the 29 is on the table. Needs to bring this stack down, needs something that he can work with. Long bar dependent. Dirty Tetris for Doodle. 3 lines to go before 29, though. Oh my gosh, there's 29 already. I wasn't expecting that fast. Doodle still clutching out the max. But Raw Masons is going to take game number 3. Already, that's a top dig, dude. Top dig of the season. One of the top digs. And, you know, obviously I'm gonna, stroke my ego a little bit. I think I did a fantastic job of calling that dig, too. Wow. Wait, E39. Yeah, it's not enough to break a Gauntlet record, but we can see a rollover here. Do you have something to say, Mr. Marinator Mari? Something you would like to tell the impressionable audience? I'm just saying, man. F52, incredibly solid game over there from Ramations. You were warned. But now, with that game, a sudden death is possible. Once both players are ready, I think, what's it called? It should be F2. Not the function key 2, but F2. Lapis, bro. You've topped out 6 of your 7 games. You topped out early 6 of your 7 games. Albeit one of them was intentional, so I'll give you 5 out of your 6 games. Today was your first day reaching transition, man. In Gauntlet, at least. But Ramations 1 game away from forcing a sudden death. Can Doodle bring us into a decider? We're about to find out. We go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Alrighty, both players. The Tetris on the table for both. Both are going to open up with 2 Tetrises. However, ooh, this is tricky. I'm not sure if Ramations can... Well, no, it depends. If an eyepiece comes soon, Ramations is not going to be able to maintain a perfect Tetris rate here in the opener. Doodle, however, able to find one. Ooh, Ramations is going to actually set up for the column 9 dirty. So Doodle in the lead by 1 Tetris here. Oh, nice. Whoa. That cleans up very nicely here. Fortunately, that does get rid of Doodle's advantage, having to do those burns. Although they were very creative burns. I like the end result of them. Doodle's only going to be in the lead by around a single and a half. And Ralmation's going to forfeit some of the score differential there. Had to do quite a bit of burning and now has a hole on column, or not column, well, column 5, row 2. Looking for an eyepiece. Eyepiece is best case scenario. Was able to get it, but not in an ideal time frame. This is just going to complicate things further. Ooh, I see the vision that Ralmations has for this burn. Quite the gamble. Unfortunately, it didn't pay off in the way that he was probably hoping. But definitely saw the vision there. However, what we can clearly see is Doodle in the lead by 2.5 Tetrises at 269, Ralmations at 215. $361 to the now $272. Ralmations would love an L piece here. All right, then. Exactly what Ralmations was looking for. Oh, wow. I like that setup. Very clever. Oh! J-piece not making it all the way over. Another delay burn over here being set up for Ralmations. Now long bar dependency. Gets it filled. Great pieces for Ralmations, however, will be trailing by over 100,000 points. It appears that that's going to be the deficit we're looking at going into the level 19 transition. However, Doodle does run into a slowdown here as well. And Ralmations has re-established a scoring position. Oh, I like that overhang over there from Ralmations. Way to proactively think and kind of set himself up for trying to play perfect. Doodle, on the other hand, not quite getting the pieces that he's looking for. I take that back. Those are the exact pieces that he's looking for. The only thing that can make this better is a long bar. And that's what he found. 512, there's another long bar. 535, 3 Tetrises left possible for both players. Doodle will have to play perfect to get his. There's one. There's another for Ralmations. There's another for Doodle. And at this point, we're just kind of exchanging back and forth. Doodle will not transition with a 600k, but transitions with a 581 instead. Ralmations will transition with a 510, but has a hole down there in column 3 and can decide to either go for row 2 or deal with that hole, and it looks like he's going to go for a row 2. There's the Tetris for Ralmations. Doodle knocks down a Tetris, but now has various unfavorable formations in the stack that he has to deal with. Ralmations committing to this row 2 is going to be able to try and navigate through and start scoring Tetrises to put some pressure on Doodle while he's trying to downstack. However, Ralmations, there it is, Tetris for Raw. 578 to now 638. Good flat placements over there for Doodle. The downstacking effort is going well. Would love to get an L piece here. L piece that's going to help burn that out. There's the Tetris for Ralmations. Only trails by a Tetris and change. Doodle now finally opens up the well. Not Tetris ready to utilize anything, but he's alive. 650 to now 634. The lead that was built up in the pre-transition has been neutralized. Both players Tetris ready. Ramations ready on on row 2. Doodle ready on row 1. And they both managed to score Tetris in level 22. Doodle finds the L piece, exactly what he's looking for. But now his long bar depending on the left-hand side. Needs an I piece and needs it soon. Holding out for the I piece. Doesn't find it. Long bar dependency in the center. This could be fatal. Doodle trying to survive. Needs to get something over to the right-hand side. Can't do it. Doodle tops out at 707. Ramations at 7054 is good for game number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to a sudden death. Captains, if you could send your order in the Discord team chats. We'll be getting sudden death started shortly. A BO5. See where all missions can cook up here. All right, there it is. CO7. That's the top out score. Let's get things ready for sudden death here. All right, for those of you that are unfamiliar, wait, are ads still running? Frick. We gotta wait 30 seconds. All right, there we go. So for those of you that don't know how sudden death work, essentially, both team captains choose an order of 3 players that played in today's match. That order is not revealed to the other team captain, and they will play in best of ones. The first team to win 2 best of ones ends up taking the entire match. That is what we call sudden death. There is no SPS and sudden death during the regular season. So when both players are ready, we get them counted down. All right. We have our ready from Noel. Oops. Well, frick. Well, now you guys know who's playing. We'll edit it in post. We'll edit it in post. Trust. Nah, Sudden Death does not count for ELO because it's only 1 game. All right. Got it ready from both players. Let's go ahead and get them counted down. For your first match of Sudden Death, you're going to have Noel versus Alex S. So you're opening up with a mismatch. It's a tried and true strategy that we've seen employed as early back as Gauntlet Ignition. Back then, the team known as TCGI was able to coin this kind of strategy in Sudden Death as the Boxy Gambit. Later got refined to the Platinum Gambit and Overdrive. And now, you could just call it a Gambit of sorts. And Alex S with the early top out. This is not over. Noel needs a chase down of 26,000. And there's the Tetris. The Ox Chords lead Sudden Death. We're gonna get our second game set up. Definitely unexpected. Oh. I see the situation now. I didn't realize the situation was that dire. Well, damn. When both players are ready, we can get them counted down. Bruh, Lapis. I know. You're already playing, so you don't see what I do with the cams and stuff. With like the cams and names. But yeah, I know. Um, this is pretty freaking bad. All right. Both players are ready. Let's get our second game of sudden death counted down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Lapis versus Ramations. I will not deny I was not paying as close attention to the lineup whenever I was setting up the match until I realized that I set it up wrong. This is going to be an uphill battle. But if Lapis can do the unthinkable, Top Down have a really good chance of winning this match. But in order to do that, Lapis is going to have to play the best game that he has played all season long. Which is not saying much because he's only had 7 games played. But still, it had to be the best out of basically all those 7 games combined. Not sure what that says about Lapis's performance or not. Anyways, start things off. Raw Nation's already with the lead. 119 now 55. Lapis holding out for the long bar. Waiting on the long bar. RG trying to deal the final death blow. Lapis surviving. Where's that long bar at? Okay, there it is. Kudos to Lapis on surviving that drought. The stack is starting to get built up once again. Are you kidding me? Back-to-back droughts over here for Lapis. Ramesh spent that entire time getting the board under control. And Lapis couldn't use either one of those two long bars. But hey, nice T-spin setup. There it is. Tetris for Lapis. 122 to now 186. And a couple of Tetrises is going to bring Lapis back into a safer position. Trailing by 2 Tetrises. And most importantly, is alive. In sudden death, anything can happen. You don't have the cushion of the extra games like you do in regulation play. You top out. Especially you top out early. You're done. And with the way that the order was, Alex S was so crucial to top down, having the best chance at victory. You can say that Doodle correctly read Ramations in the way that he decided the order, had a counter for everything. But of course, you can have all the strategies in the world, but it comes down to the individual player performance at the end of the day. And despite Alex S winning the match, putting top down in a position to even guarantee themselves at least a sudden death here, he's now put him in a bind. 306 and now 288. Lapis trailing by Tetris in real time. And 2 Tetrises when you factor in pace. The Romation's actually experiencing some issues. And Lapis playing this game with the necessary grit and determination. We are closing in on the level 19 transition. Lapis fighting for this next long bar. Has the center wheel set up. There it is. Tetris' score, 345. And Lapis is going to commit to the triple. Not trying to play it too aggressive. But we have a problem coming in. It's coming in fast. The level 19 transition. Raw Nation's playground. Lapis unable to build a lead here in the pre-transition. He's going to have to fight with the full ferocity of Raw Nations. We've seen 2 1.2s due to some stellar post. $459 here for Raw Nations. $379 for Lapis. Lapis going to go for the triple, not going to go aggressive. Transition happens, and 2 lines for Raw Nations, 2 lines for Lapis. And Lapis just going to go for the triple. Raw Nations transitions at 506. Lapis at 395. There's a no! Lapis decides to fill in the isolated dependency first as opposed to go for the Tetris. Not going to go for the S-spin either. Goes for the tuck instead. Such an aggressive placement, but finds the L triple. Goes for the J double. Now J piece dependent. Knocks down the Tetris. Now long bar dependent. Fills in the long bar dependency first. Scary situation over there for Lapis, but he survives. Raw Nations with over 100,000 point lead in level 20 here. As Lapis holds out for the next long bar. There's the Tetris for Lapis. Goes up to 461. Lapis looked like a little bit of a misship there, but it might have been intentional to help burn that out. Just gonna bring the stack down. Lapis doing the best that he can, but hold on, Ramations. No, not in trouble. It's gonna score 2 Tetrises. Bring the stack down in this much safer pastures. Lapis back down to the right-hand side. Trailing by 150,000 points at the moment. There it is, Tetris for Lapis. 503 now. Another Tetris for Lapis, 532. Still trying to put some pressure on Ramations. Another oh no! The double flip over there for Lapis. Covered up the wells so a Tetris won't be scored, and now burns are going to be forced. And there's just going to be a triple. Another Tetris for Ramations, 719. Is extending the lead to 170,000 points. Lapis is Tetris ready, and there's the Tetris for Lapis. Ramations starting to get up high, though. These pieces aren't necessarily the best. That triple is going to decomplicate things. But still, not great pieces over here for Ramations. And neither is Lapis getting good pieces. Needs an eyepiece. He needs it now. Lapis tops out at 580. His best game all season, but it's not enough. Going up against the captain of the Ox Cords. Ramations takes second game of sudden death, and the Ox Cords squeak by with a 3-2 victory. All right, Lapis. Yeah, Lapis, you did a great job. I mean, it's pretty tough, but I respect it. Bro's got the Dakimara. We'll let Ramations play this one out. But man, what can you do? What can you do? Of course, Ramations lives that. Dude's cleared 29-5. Okay, a B99. Alright. See, what are you cooking, Ramations? CO3? Alright, my guy. What the freaking heck? Beautiful Z-vert. It's not a Tetris. Nice triple. Alright, I think we can at least see probably an E here. Dude, the heck? Ramations is actually wild. Oh, the aggressive dirty. I mean, I guess I was right. We should see an E here. Commentator cursed the mess out of that. No, I didn't. We still get the E. What a game. But at the end of the day, it is the Ox Cords that come out of this match victorious. After a shocking upset, compared with, at least based on stats, an upset between Alex S and Peak Eric. All coming down to the sudden death debacle. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for tonight's Gauntlet match. You're watching on YouTube, Facebook,